Alright, so next we are going to do Mark Zuckerberg. So we just observe his face for a moment and you can see that it's heavy on the top and longish below on the jaw. So it's like a balloon. So for a rough sketch, I'm going to make a balloon shape like this and elongate it slightly more, and the neck we can make it even longer like this. Can make the ears popping out this way, the forehead and the curly hair like this, center line. Let's make the nose a little big and the smile here will come. You can notice that the eyes are pretty big. Like this. Especially the circle part of the eye is slightly bigger than normal, so we can exaggerate that part, and very light eyebrows this way. Okay, so it looks fine. The rough sketch seems like it's going to work, so we are going to start with the final right away. So here's a basic shape in place. And here's a long thick neck. These are the lines for the eyes. You roughly draw the ears as well. Exaggerating the ears, but at the same time they should be in the same level. Should not look like one is small and one is big. So in his other pics also I have seen that he's got curly hair, little reddish hair. So it's basically very important to study the other pics as well. So you can take some elements from those pics that you remember and you can use it in your final drawing. Okay, now for the eyes, we'll make them very big like this. Start off with these two lines. As you can see, the distance between these two eyes, they are very less, it's very less. At the same time I have to make sure that this is the center line, so the gap between is same. So I'm going to have to shift this eye a little bit to the left side like this, just to make it a little more symmetrical. Okay, so this circle part I am making it slightly more big because I feel that that part is slightly more bigger than normal, and also this line will come here. Okay, so next step is to make the mouth. So these are the teeth line, so very carefully you can draw the teeth like this. And a few teeth below. Okay, so and then I'm going to make this stroke like this, one stroke here. I'm going to thicken this part a little bit more. Then next step is to just erase off all the grid lines and to check your sketch once again. Few strokes here. Okay, so now I feel the eyes are symmetrical enough, so now we are good to do outlining. So I'm going to use a waterproof black pen for outlining. So this particular sketch I'm going to color it using watercolors, so I'm not going to fill in the tones with the pen. I'm just making the basic outline. Very light strokes out here for the eyebrows. This line will be thick, so both these lines I'm doing together. And I'm just filling this circle, inside circle, with black. like this. Next, the ears will come. Can't really see any details out here, but still we have to make that strokes. Next is lips. So while making the teeth, make it very thin line and as detailed as possible. Like this. Maybe you can make some shading strokes inside here. And then start with this line. And then the chin will come like this. Okay, so I have erased all the pencil lines. Now we are going to start with the coloring. So I'm going to start with the skin tone first. So it's a very light skin tone using a big brush. So this is crimson plus bit of yellow ochre, and put lots of water in it like this. Adding a bit of chrome yellow, this way. Now the area is quite big, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first apply a bit of water so that the color freely moves and no patches are formed. And always before you color, just check it whether the ink is waterproof or not, otherwise your drawing will be ruined. Okay, so all this will be skin color. Okay, need a little more pinkish tone. Yeah, this is better. You don't have to be really accurate while coloring with watercolors, but just follow this basic technique that you need to apply a little water. Whenever you're making big spaces, whenever you're coloring big spaces. Okay, so adding a few dark tones is optional. Basically, if you want to go ahead and do it, you can, otherwise this also works fine. So I'm just taking a little burnt umber and adding a little bit of carmine red to it. And so while it is wet, you can just make a few dark tones under the nose, this line here. So if you do it while it is wet, it will blend far more easily and you won't have patches. Okay, so just this patch has to be blended a little bit. So I'm using a fresh clean brush, and of course a few strokes here to show the shadow of the hair. This line. A little reddish brownish color for the eyebrows. Okay, so the skin color is done. It's very simple. Next I'm going to start with the hair. Now I'm going to use a little reddish and brownish color for the hair. So this is raw sienna and a little crimson, little brown. Okay, so this will be the base coat. Any shade next to this shade will also do. You don't have to be very accurate with this. Even a light wash of raw sienna will do. Okay, so for the dark tone I'm going to use indigo. I normally use indigo for any dark tone, especially in the hair. And while it is wet, you can just make these strokes so that it blends well. That is one of the reason I like to use a big brush, so that you cover up big spaces faster, and then you can be ready with the next color and that color blends really well. This way. Okay, so the hair is done. Now I'm going to start with the eyes. So now for the eyes I'm going to use a smaller brush. You can see he's got grayish, bluish eyes. So I'm just going to take a little blue color and mix it with this indigo grayish color and leave the highlight like this. Same way on the other eye as well. Can just make a very light tone out here in the white part of the eye. Don't leave it stark white. So same thing with the teeth. A very light gray color for the teeth, and then inside part of the mouth I'm going to use this indigo dark shade again. I can add a little bit of black to it for the more darker tones. To be very careful with these dark shades, and then a little bit of reddish color just to show that that's a tongue in there, like this. And then next again carmine red watery for the lips. You can always test on one side to see whether the shade is correct or not. And one more option is you can just remove excess color on the back of your palm. So the lips are done, and now I'm going to start with the shirt. So basically I'm using any color. You can blend this line with a clean brush like this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply water in the background, and I'm going to use blue color because that's his trademark color, because his the color of Facebook is blue. Next I'm going to use a bit of cobalt blue and just apply colors next to the neck. This way. Seems like my hand has just taken this color off, so I'm just going to apply this brown color again like this.